Sound, KHARMA, music, podcast. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, welcome to Sound KHARMA Song Spotlight, episode 27. I'm your host, Big Zach. This is all about showcasing new music, and we're spotlighting 4 songs this week. SACRE is a pop electronic house duo who has conceived an album that literally travels through time from scenario to scenario. We'll explain. Katey Brooks is a singer-songwriter who grew up in a cult and has taken her experiences and created amazing therapeutic music. Clayton Morgan is an electronic EDM artist whose famous dad helped him develop his talent. And the Dot and the Line are a downtempo electronica duo who create amazing euphoric music magic. All right, let's get to it. SACRE is a French-born pop electronic house duo who currently call Amsterdam home. They do music their way. They create everything themselves, from designing their own logo to their set designs. And they're getting a lot of attention from outlets around the world for their sound and their creativity. Their latest album, Love Revolution, is not just an ordinary album. It's been described as, quote, an immersive narrative combining art, music, and social media. Each track is a story, which started at 7 p.m. and introduces a new character with every release until a cast of 12 personas intercept for a magical, musical, mystical ending at 6 a.m. This is not just a musical journey, though. It's an exploration of sight. They hired a photographer to create a montage of images as the story progresses with each song. It's a fascinating project. This track is available for download now. This is SACRE with 9 p.m. The Coconut Bar.
Dare, enjoy, squeeze, drop, run, roll, leave, forget, work, laze, dream, leave, grow, fall, suffer, bang, bless, cry, survive, speak, listen, think, trip, hold, swim, feel, make, forget, fight, ask, bang, dare, enjoy, squeeze, drop, run, roll, leave, forget, work, laze, dream, leave, grow, fall, suffer, bang, bless, cry, survive.
Katey Brooks is a singer-songwriter with a lot of soul, but that's not all she is. In fact, when you hear her music, you'll hear soul, blues, folk, country, rock, a little gospel, and God knows what else. She's a complex, interesting blend of music. Many people say it's so refreshing to hear an artist that has so many layers that it's difficult to classify into a typical single category. Nothing about her life has been simple and straightforward. She grew up in a cult and found her escape in music. She says, quote, "It was a very chaotic upbringing, full of some pretty colorful and sometimes unsavory characters. But when I sang, I felt free and connected. For as long as I can remember, it's been my way of getting what I need to say out." She's dealt with a lot of tragedy at a young age, too. Her mom died when she was 22. Shortly after that, her lifelong best friend went missing and died. But she considers herself lucky because she's had songwriting as a form of therapy to deal with everything she's been through. This particular track is about being true to yourself and rejecting shame. She says, quote, "We're all going to walk this planet with different scripts in our heads, different upbringings, experiences, and beliefs. And if we want to get along and be peaceful, we need to accept that. Hate isn't the answer in any situation, so I believe anyway." Her talents are revered by some of the most iconic names in the music business. She's recorded with Brian May of Queen, Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, and Paloma Faith at Abbey Road. Her music is on our Spotify playlist of favorite tracks. This song is available for download. This is Katey Brooks with Never Gonna Let Her Go.
Take me to the holy water, baby, till the river runs cold. Now I could be the things that I order, but I ain't never gonna let her go. Now take me to the holy water, now baby, till the river runs cold. Now I could be the things that I order, but I ain't never gonna let her go.
Clayton Morgan is an electronic EDM artist from Dallas. He's the kind of vocalist who has a super current sound combined with the vocal quality of an iconic supergroup of the 60s, a time when an artist had to have true talent to make it. His voice is strong, full of emotion, and sensitive, all at the same time. He has such a well-rounded, classy sound. The reason may be because his dad is Eddie Daniels, one of the members of the 60s group The Four Sonics. But don't let that influence your opinion of him. Clayton Morgan has made his mark on the music industry all on his own. He's a super talented songwriter, an amazing vocalist, and a brilliant performer. He honed his craft of singing and performing by joining school musicals, choir groups, and drama clubs. Having a successful parent in the music business doesn't hurt either. Clayton always looked up to his father as a mentor. I mean, why wouldn't he? Who wouldn't? But that's not where Clayton's influences end. His style has also been shaped by the most influential and successful names in the music business, like Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Prince, Madonna, and Whitney Houston. When you combine the gifts passed down from his father, the effects of his musical heroes, and his own natural ability, it's easy to understand why Clayton Morgan is such an amazing artist. Good Love was released in February 2019 and is available for download now. This is Clayton Morgan with Good Love.
The love that you and I shared, it was meant to be. Brings back the memories of the days when the love that can get me back. Good love, good love, good love, good love. Craving that good love.
And finally, the Dot and the Line are a downtempo electronica English duo based in LA. Keyboardist, guitarist, and programmer Ned Douglas and vocalist Hetty Clark are stunning. They're almost a contradiction of themselves. Their sound is subtle, yet cinematic. Sad, yet optimistic. Quiet, yet bigger than life. You can't help but be drawn in from the minute you hear Hetty's voice. Her songwriting is deep, and her voice is emotional and intimate. Ned is a songwriter, programmer, and engineer who has worked with artists like Stevie Nicks, Katy Perry, Ringo Starr, Mick Jagger, and Kesha. They're a perfect complement to each other. When you hear their music, you may be like us and have to hear it again and again and again. Their sound is so unique and so sensual, you'll need to go back for more. Each time you listen, you'll hear something you didn't hear before. The album Small Anchors in the Swirl was just released a couple weeks ago. This track is on that album. This is the Dot and the Line with Hold On.
You gotta hold on to something. You gotta hold on now. You gotta hold on to something. You gotta hold on somehow.
So there you go. That's this week's Sound Karma Song Spotlight. You can find links for downloads below, depending on where you're listening to this, or on the podcast page at soundkarma.com. If you have any suggestions for artists or songs you'd like us to highlight as a featured video, blog, or in a podcast, let us know. Contact us through the website or email at info@soundkarma.com. It's karma with an H. Or DM us on Twitter, whatever you like. We think all music should be heard. Thanks for listening. I'm Big Zach. Over and out.